I don't fix early extension by the hips staying back. They still have to push in. But instead of at the ball, I want to push my hips forward, but I just want to do it towards you. I'm pushing towards you, left of the target.
Yep.
I'm fully extended.
Yeah.
But I didn't stand up from down the line because my shoulder's down. So my hips push forward to the left, but I stay on my tilts. You with me?
Absolutely.
Not this way.
Right.
I still need to move my hips forward when I'm really to fix this. It's that shoulder and rib cage that stay down. Awesome, dude.
Contact is so crisp that way too. All right, this one I'm excited about because we got Eric Cagorno here who doesn't know it, but he's been my coach for years. Because I've been watching his videos and now I get the real deal. We're gonna work in person here.
Yeah.
And one thing we gotta work on is my early extension. So recently I was measuring it, doing a whole lot of biometric stuff, and I see that I stand up out of posture. We recently did a whole video on Eric's channel. We did a real deep dive into a lot of this. We even looked at my shot scope stats and saw what problems it was causing on the golf course. So go and check that out. But where I'm thinking is a lot of you, if you're coming to this video, maybe you're playing golf tomorrow, you know you're early extending and you just want a little bit of help. I'm looking for some drill or something that we can kind of go through just to get me in the right direction.
Yeah, love it, Frank. Thank you. Let's flip-flop spots.
Sure.
It's nice to be coaching in person now instead of afar for all those years. I appreciate you watching. So we know from the video that a lot of your early extension comes from the shaft being out of position. Most players, if you're watching early extend, either set up poorly. There's a big three. They set up with the hips too far back, so they stand up. The shaft's too steep in the downswing, so they stand to shallow it. Or the club face is too open, so they stand up to close it, stall and close. Those are kind of the big three. So for you, it's the shaft. But once you get the shaft in place, you still need to well, how's my body supposed to feel? Yeah. And there's a lot of cool early extension drills. One of my absolute favorites that I give a lot of people, and you can do this when you're watching as well. If you put an iron, I've got a 9-iron here, you can put the butt end of the club kind of in the middle of your rib cage. I'll demonstrate and then we'll do it. Yeah. Now, if I look at a good ball striker, if I stay down and turn, right, if I rotate on my way through, I should be able to get this club to the right of me to the golf ball and through the golf ball. Now, I don't want to do that by taking my arm and just like pushing it across my body. I really like to feel like my arm's kind of just there holding it. And I'm going to use my rib cage or my torso and feel my right rib cage getting that at and past the golf ball. Now, as I'm doing this, the feeling is that rib cage is turning. I feel a noticeable right side crunch, like an oblique crunch.
Yeah.
So my right shoulder kind of getting closer to the hip. And when I get through to the finish position, notice my hips are still pointed forward, not back. It's a big mistake when people try and fix early extension like this. That's not it. The hips still push forward. But notice when I get done from the down the line angle, how I still have my inclination to the ground. Yeah. Meaning my right hip feels like it's lower than my left. My right shoulder's lower than my right. And even my ears and eyes, Frank, are like tilted over. So it's kind of like shoulder down, ear down on the way through, rib cage turn. So why don't you hop in and let's do a couple of those drills to feel that, see what you feel on the way through. It's going to be dramatically easier to do when your club's in a better position. Yeah. But just to quick, take this. I mean, I like watching it because like you look super connected, like you're just doing it through your rotation when you do it. Yeah. And I think one thing for someone who's stood up for so long, a fear in my mind is as I keep that right shoulder down, I'm going to fat it. I'm going to hit behind it. Yeah. So it's imagine it takes time to feel it. So there's two solutions to that because that's very common. One is get your body down like that. Where you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna hit fat. If I'm coming like with this shoulder down, I feel like I'm gonna get fat. Totally. So like a couple things. One is the more you rotate, so your chest and shoulders, the more the low point moves forward. See, I saw it lift right up. Yeah. So that's one thing that I would do. The second thing with this, like do that position one more time. So as I'm rotating here, notice how your hips are moving back towards your right foot. Mm-hmm. So that's your hips should still point towards pull your hips towards me, towards your left ankle. You see the difference there? Oh, I do, yeah. So your weight and hips are still forward. Very big issue. For years trying to fix early extension, would do moves like this. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, I extend, I slide, I gotta keep my hips back. Your hips, your belt buckle still needs to move like 4 to 6 inches forward. I still need to move my hips forward when I'm really to fix this. It's that shoulder and rib cage that stay down. Yeah. So that's big. Do that pose again, kind of pose a good impact. In a good impact pose? Yeah, because what you said, everyone's gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna hit fat. Yep. How you fix that is through rotation. So the weight's forward, the body's turned, and if you literally get closer to the ground, like your chest or your rib cage, something must shorten. Yeah.
That's why I see the grip going down when I'm doing that.
Yeah, so like what you must shorten is your arm and or your wrist. So keep your hands in the club, get really tall. Keep going. What happened there? Your right arm had to extend.
Straighten, yep.
And your right wrist had to extend to get to the ball.
Yeah.
So most guys that struggle with early extension, early straighten the arm and the wrist. So when they stay down and they do the same thing, they do hit
That's
back.
when you're hitting behind it.
If you see someone who's in posture at impact, do that one more time, Frank. Their right arm's still bent and their right wrist is still bent, okay? You're like, that might be too much to think about.
Yeah.
But what if
no, I get it, yeah.
Yeah, what if it's just this, where you're doing, the body's turning, and as I work through there, the trail arm feels like it's staying more bent.
Yep.
That would be how you solve the fat shots.
That protect against the fat.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so you want the butt of the club in the rib here.
Butt of the club in the rib cage, you can hold it kind of where you feel comfortable.
Okay.
Yep. Now your goal is to get that to the ball without pushing it forward with your hand, just using your body. Hips still got to push forward. Good. So that's your sort of sensation. Now get it all the way through the ball. Good. And then you can allow yourself to stand up a little bit. Good. Perfect. Let's do that again. So start with it to the right of your rib cage.
Right here?
Yeah, reset. So let's put it in where you're
so
like.
we're square.
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
put
yeah.
it in.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
And then we're going to turn, right?
Turn it through. Good. Keep going. And allow your hips to kick forward. So what you're doing, you're really exaggerating.
Yep.
I can tell you struggle with early extension for a while because you're really exaggerating the fixes.
Yeah.
So if we drew like a line on my head when I do this, I don't need to feel like I go down a foot. That's how your hips are staying back too much. You can feel like you just maintain height here.
Okay.
You don't need to go down so much. I just need to go forward, right, as I'm maintaining this height. Even if your head just locks still, my rib cage is forward, my hips are still pushing over my ankle, right?
Yep.
But I'm still maintaining my side bend here. I'm not standing up. You're trying to fix your standing up, not by keeping your chest down, but by keeping your right side down.
Okay.
So this is big too here. Like if I come in here like this, when I work through my follow through, I need to extend. Like we talked about that right before with Mike. I need to stand up. The difference is if I take this, turn my body towards the target and lower my shoulder, that looks pretty good. Would you agree?
I do.
So it's not this, it's not chest down. The chest is up, it's shoulder down.
Gotcha.
So you're doing a little too much like torso down.
And it's from so many times watching myself on tape, lifting up and trying to go the other direction.
Totally, push your butt back.
Yeah.
But it's not, this is really good. A lot of people struggle with this. It's not fixing it by doing more of this.
Yeah.
It's extension. You need more rotation with side bend.
Side bend.
That's the side bend piece, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do that drill again. So this is one of many ways just to feel this.
Okay, so in this time, instead of going down, I'm gonna try to keep my head where it is.
Yep, and get your right side turning through. Push your hips forward, push your hips forward. Good. Good, so you can still allow this to go forward. Let your right foot come up. Good. So you can still allow all that to go forward.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do that again. Awesome. Again. Awesome. Good. Put a club in your hands. Let's make a little half back so you're not going to hit the ball here. Good. So as you start to swing down and through from here, your head's going to stay basically where it is. Mm-hmm. Your goal is to push your hips over your left ankle and feel like your right shoulder stays down. Let your hips kick forward though. Yeah. See, you're so scared of your hips going this way.
It's years of doing it that way, right?
Totally. So you have to push your hips forward. The difference is you normally do it at the ball.
Yep.
Your hips, when they push forward, should push forward at like me.
Okay.
So like you stand here for a second. So when I do this, I don't fix early extension by the hips staying back. They still have to push in. But instead of at the ball, let's say the ball is 12 o'clock, let's say the target's 9, let's say you're 8 o'clock. I want to push my hips forward, but I just want to do it towards you. Now as you can show this, I'm pushing towards you, left of the target.
Yep.
I'm fully extended.
Yeah.
But I didn't stand up from down the line because my shoulder's down. Mm-hmm. So my hips push forward to the left, but I stay on my tilts.
Yeah.
You with me?
Absolutely.
Not this way.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it comes from like diagnosing it myself on camera and thinking, well, if early extension means I'm moving towards the ball, I better move away from the ball.
That's it. And that's forward bend, which is the exact opposite of what all good ball strikers do. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Been doing that for years, I get it as well. You must extend this way, with a side bend and rotation.
So I'm extending in here.
That's the move.
Yeah.
Do a couple practice ones like that. So your hips are towards me.
So if I'm just coming back here and then extending
Hey-o.
towards it this way.
So you're staying in posture because of your side bend,
Yeah.
but your hips are fully pushed forward.
And I feel that shoulder down towards the ball.
Yeah. Do a couple of those. You're gonna like the way that looks. What's that warehouse, men's wear? Yeah, good.
You're gonna like the way you look.
Yep. Do that again. Good, a little faster. I mean, watch that. Do that one more time. Okay, so that's what that's gonna look like. So like the goal is when you get into the finish position, say you're so tilted over.
Yes.
So your hips are fully pushed forward. And any good player, you're gonna see that.
Yeah.
Hips are way forward, right?
Yeah.
But they're just tilted over. So you wanna hit a couple with that?
Sure.
Let's do one good practice one first. Yeah, beautiful job, dude. Awesome. So there's our hip behind the ball, right?
Yeah, just a little fat.
Yep. So see your angles on the way through?
Yeah.
Again, there's a little bit of work to do in transition.
Right.
But that's what that's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Your hips are
See
pushing
it.
forward and your body stays down.
And the good thing for me is that I'm not feeling like I have to push my hips. Like I was
Right.
even looking at like, wall drills and things like that. And it was just, for whatever reason, I was focused on pushing them back. And I guess that's where I was getting stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a place for some of those for some players.
Yeah.
But like you might also want to do something like this too, where like if I had this across my hips,
Yep.
I'm trying to push my hips forward. Like I'm not trying to keep the hips back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get these hips to push forward. Push forward.
You get like coming in this way.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
With the side
With
bend.
the side bend. That's the key difference. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's lots of feels.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to do it, but never fixing it by having the hips back, chest down.
Right.
Always have an extension with side bend and turn. That's such a cool visual. I don't know where I saw this, maybe from Stack and Tilt guys first or George Gankis, but they were like, let me hop in there. When you do this, if I literally stood up as much as I can,
Yeah.
tilt to the right and turn,
Yeah,
that
you're in
looks
position.
perfect. But I fully extend it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a, like, you got to kind of get your mind wrapped around
Right.
it, you know what I mean?
Right, but at least now I'm not chasing the wrong thing by just thinking I'm fixing it going this way.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. And that's the like one sentence fix for this video for someone trying to fix early extension. It's twofold. One, find the root cause. Two, don't keep your hips back. Let them push forward, but add the side bend.
I love that.
Let's see you do another one, because I think you're a swing or two away from making that look really good too. So hips push like 20 left. Yeah, exactly.
This
yes. And that should feel better too, Frank, that you have freedom athletically to still push them forward.
Yeah.
You don't have to like restrict
It
yourself
feels
at all.
easier to go this way than to go this way.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yes, sir. Bingo. Real mellow here, just 9-3. That was a good little practice swing. Awesome, dude.
Contact
Awesome.
is so crisp that way too.
Yeah, never trying to maintain the posture from feeling like your upper body stays down and forward.
Yeah.
That's a big, big, big key here. It's the right side of your body staying down as it turns. The right side of your body staying down as it turns, not your chest staying down as it turns.
Love that.
It's a big take home.
All right, well listen, I appreciate it. Like we said, we did a much deeper dive over on Eric's channel. Go check that out where we got into some of that plane, other components, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to what I'm going through here. So if you are, try this. Make sure you subscribe to Eric's channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.